That a member of the Tiger Eye Private Investigations who was murdered by some unknown assailant Wednesday night has been buried this afternoon in accordance with Islamic tradition. Maxwell Agbagba has been observing this ceremony and joins me live from the cemetery. Hello, Maxwell. Maxwell, if you can hear me, tell us what's happening now.
Well, Gifty, as you rightly stated, we are live from the Medina Cemetery, and the burial just ended. And right behind me, the first, second, third, fourth grave, it's where the deceased Ahmed, Hussein Suale, was actually buried. We have some family members who are still around deliberating on issues. A lot of them still in shock about the circumstances in which he died. There was a powerful message from we had powerful messages coming from all the imams who prayed before the remains was finally laid to rest. One of the profound things one of the imams actually said is that for Muslims who died in their line of work, in the line of duty, they die as lucky ones. And for others who also had opportunity to speak also, well, they called on God, they prayed to Allah to help for the perpetrators to be unmasked. So basically, when you come here, it's all grief, it's all sorrow here at the Medina Cemetery. A lot of the family members are currently rushing to the family house where we're told proceedings, will continue. People from all walks of life were actually here to commiserate with the family. At the Medina Mosque itself, we had the managing news editor of the Inside newspaper. We had the managing news editor of the New Crusading Guide newspaper, Kweku Baku. He was there together with Anas Aremeya. Anas, of course, we know that this is, a confidant. This is somebody who worked very close to him, who has passed on. He was the only one who was given exclusive access to actually get closer to the remains. But I have with me here some members of parliament. As I told you, we have people from all walks of life here, and two members of parliament, NDC MPs. We have Adaklu MP Kwame Agboja, and then South Dai MP Roxanne Dafiamakwa also here. I'll have them, join us here. We also have human rights lawyer Francis. Francis, you can also join us, here. They came to support the family and also commiserate with the family. Earlier, we had a government delegation represented by Information Minister and his deputy, Pius Hajide. Let me start off first of all with South Dai Member of Parliament, Roxanne Dafiamakwa. You had the news in recent times. We've had a lot of issues concerning, killings, I should say. So far in the year, we've had quite a number of them. Although when we check, previous figures, murder cases were high in previous years. But the alarming rate at which is starting this year, some people are raising concerns already. You are lawmakers. I don't know what concerns you also have.
Yes, I'm equally concerned about the rates, the incidents and the nature of the killings. Yes, we are aware that ordinary people sometimes meet such unfortunate situations. You will see that the investigations often will start, but it will stop. But this time we speak of high-ranking public officials and persons of some import in society. And so the question is, if persons that are of importance to society, the lives of whom are cut down this way, then what happens to the ordinary man? That should be the concern. You see, when the president can be attacked, then what happens to the ordinary man? That's the analogy I'm trying to draw. If a sitting member of parliament can be killed in his bedroom, and 3-4 years down the line, prosecution is still stalling, there are procedural issues, then what happens to the killers of my brother who is lying about 3-4 graves away from here? So we are concerned. Journalists are being killed, public servants are being killed, private businessmen are being killed, and such other people, politicians are being killed. Soldiers are killed and are maimed and killed. And nothing happens. where even persons are apprehended, the judicial processes or the prosecutorial processes that are set in are bastardized in such a way that everybody gives up in the course of obtaining justice in the matter. We should wake up.
Well, so some people think that we've not made progress, especially when it comes to these issues, because it is often politicized. So then we are blinded on what the clear solutions are.
It ought not to be. Look, we woke up this week to the killing of the corporate affairs director of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. That matter the debate had hardly begun when my brother was shot in his vehicle after 10 p.m. close of work. So if assailants can trail you this much and nab you in your vehicle and kill you, then what are we doing? Persons are waylaid in their bedrooms and killed.
Let me find out from Kwame Agboja. Sometime in 2016, actually, and this is according to the Criminal Investigations Department annual crime report, the number of reported murder cases, about 500 of them. In 2017, we had about 600 of them. A lot of these cases we know go unresolved because the police have issues with logistics. I mean, logistics that would help them unmask perpetrators. Do you think the legislature has any role to play in this, retooling the Ghana Police Service, providing the necessary, climate for security agencies, state agencies to do their job?
Well, first of all, condolences to the entire country, especially the Inky fraternity, which you belong to. I guess you notice that you and I are high targets in this country. Me as a politician and you as a journalist. Basically, what you're doing here today is what you have set out to do because that's what you love. But somebody takes exception to that and wants you dead. In 2017, I was shot at in my vehicle. The chilling thing is that some people sent me messages asking me if I was really shot, why am I still alive? And for me, this week, I was on a program somewhere, and somebody was saying, yeah, we mean you, and NPP, we mean you. But you see, this shouldn't be politicized, but let's face it. Do you think if me, Kwame Agboja, or my colleague, Roxanne, actually went as dastardly as possible to unmask and undercover, basically what my colleague Ken have done, is to basically, for instance, go and publish the address of all security agents in this country. In other jurisdictions, attempt to do that is a crime. But guess what? He's done it, and today we have seen somebody who has actually helped and he has been helping to unmask and punish crime in our society. Then he is lying down there simply because somebody doesn't like the fact that he's uncovered wrongdoing for which somebody needed to be punished. Should this be political? No, this is crime. And my party believes that this issue cannot be left with NPP, NDC. What my colleague did by unmasking, and actually not only unmasking, but further urging people to harm him. And sadly, they didn't only harm him and left him limping, he's dead. This is not what we've been set out as members of parliament to do. We should be problem solvers, not problem creators. So you and I standing here, just because of the kind of work we do, we are targets, and that is why everybody should be scared. I have always said, I don't feel safe in this country. Only God knows whether I'll get home when I leave here. The same applies to you. And that should not be politicized. It's the responsibility of the government to make sure I'm safe. But guess what? All the high-profile murders you have talked about, has effectively been punished as a deterrent to others. Today, my colleague member of parliament, who people want to say that he didn't ask the people to go and murder. So are you saying that if I were to charge people on you, give them your address and show them details about you, and you are unfortunately murdered, I have no responsibility towards that? You do. And I'm urging the media to follow up on that. This is one of your own that have been murdered. What chance do you have? The day you speak something against me, do you expect me to do that to you?
But there's some who believe that there's no direct correlation between, what happened in the past and then now. They say that the kind of work that he was doing, puts him in that danger. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with the publication of his image.
There's a difference between somebody who dies a natural death and when you say that I am going to ask people to hurt you or follow you. He was, in fact, until his picture was shown, I've heard of the name, I never knew him. So why should we do the thing in this reverse? Why don't we actually accuse the person for wrongdoing until we can prove that he was not part of it? Why are we making excuse for our colleague Ken that because there's no direct correlation? As far as I'm concerned, the gentleman is lying down here because somebody blew his cover, and the necessary steps should have been taken to probably give him extra security. Okay. So he's not dead because this is not his natural death. Okay. He was harmed because somebody blew his cover and deliberately asked people to go and harm him. Sadly, they didn't only beat him up, they killed him.
Okay. Lawyer Francis, I'll let you have the last bite on this. You are a lawyer, and I'm sure you've come into direct contact with a lot of these cases. I think this question is rather go to the MPs. The proliferation of arms, small arms we're talking about. We know that there's been various, amnesty asking people to bring, their guns for cash and all of those things. Do you think we're getting somewhere collecting all those small arms? Those guns in the hands of people who are not supposed to own them in the first place.
Thank you very much. Once again, I also want to add my voice and say condolences to the family, and also just encourage them that even though we have had a great loss in Medina here, all the young men, the young people, the various bases in here, we will continue the rule of to give justice to our brother who is lying motionless here today. Now, the second issue is that, you see, once you have a state of insecurity, you have a state where people don't feel safe, it will be difficult for you to accomplish that task of pulling out, unlawful arms. Look at what happened at Alavanyo. Look at what happened at even at the Asawasi, and a number of situations like that, where even the law enforcement officers who are supposed to be protecting life and destroying life. So if you have to protect life and you destroy, people look and see that their own hands, and they want to protect themselves. And people who have, many do not have, those who do not have, when you look at the commentaries that go on here, as we met with all these young men, everybody's like, hey, now we have to protect ourselves. I have to protect myself. People are looking for guns, people are looking for weapons. That is not how it's supposed to be. But people are thinking like that because of the state of insecurity. Believe that as a nation, this should be a major topic for us to discuss. What do we do to make our people safe? Once they feel safe, they will willingly let go of those small arms.
Okay. Once they feel safe, they will willingly let go of those small arms. You just heard from Member of Parliament for South Dai, Roxanne Dafiamako. You also heard from Adaklu MP, Kwame Agboja. And then you heard from lawyer Francis Osu. You contested on the ticket of names in this constituency?
Yes. In this constituency in 20, that was in 20, ahead of the 2016 election. Okay. But in 2020, I definitely am coming for this seat by God's grace.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us on the pulse. Okay, so that is great. That's it here. The remains of the deceased will be here. Everybody has left this place. It's empty now. I can count just about 10 people. No, not really 10, about 8 people here. And I'm sure they will all be leaving in some few minutes. It's the end of the road, sadly, for our brother. Over to you in the studio as we bring you visuals of how the funeral service went on or panned out at the Medina Mosque.
ya yi mutuwar shahada o zafin albarbushe da fitarar ya ƙare an mun so maka mu da jana'iza الله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وصلنا شاف عليه جماعة هنا بمبارك سواكما الشيخ محمد سعيد كسيري بابا سيارة شيما بابا سيارة سيما وبانا شيء دينا